Jimmie Ward, last topic before I go. And I'm so nervous, man. I just want this to work out. So I'm interviewing Jimmie Ward today. I just wanted to say he's a really cool guy. I called up his agent. I was trying to figure out, like, how do I get in touch with Jimmie Ward? He's not on Twitter. Yeah. Oh, call his agent. I work for Sports Illustrated. It shouldn't be that hard. So I call up the agent, and he answers the phone. Only agents. Do you answer random phone numbers that you don't know? Hell no. Agents do, though. I ring. He's like, hello. I'm like, hey, my name's Grant. Cover the 49ers, Sports Illustrated, YouTube, yada, yada, yada. Can I interview Jimmie? He's like, yeah, man, he's out of the country. But when he comes back, I'll ask him. And I figured, oh, I'm never going to hear from Jimmie Garoppolo again. I mean, Jimmie Ward again. Yesterday, I get a text from the agent. Hey, Jimmie's back, and he's down to do the interview tomorrow. So God love the agent. God love Jimmie. They're like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. So it's going to be awesome. I think Jimmie, he's a guy, from what I've seen in interviews, he has some energy. I'll be interested to see where he went internationally.
Yeah, I want to know too. It seems like he's like the kind of guy who has a lot to say and hasn't really been given the platform to say it yet. So I hope I can just get him started. He can go the rest of the way.
He's your first 49er active player, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've interviewed a lot of players before, but not on YouTube. I interviewed. I did this with John Lynch on Periscope before I had a YouTube channel. And we sat down and I put like a phone. I propped up a phone on a desk outside. It was very low tech. I was before we knew anything about Zoom or StreamYard and stuff like that. So this was cool.
Shout out to Jimmie Ward too, because I mean, obviously you're on the Jimmie Ward boat now, but before you were critical of him. So it's a player you've been critical of, which is kind of cool too. Like just because you're critical of someone doesn't mean you can't talk to that person.
That's true.
Or like have a conversation and I mean, which is kind of cool of Jimmie, like to do that.
I think it's very cool. I went back and looked at my tweets today. I searched the at Grant Cohn, Jimmie Ward. Oh my God, dude. I really had some bad tweets in there about Jimmie Ward that were just wrong. So what's cool is that he didn't hold a grudge, because most athletes do. I mean, he's very confident. I'm sure he's like, hey, if you want to be wrong, that's on you. You can be wrong. Yeah. But also, like, so many people worked hard to show me the light, including Robert Saleh, Vish, those two big time. Vish and Robert Saleh, they like broke it down to me. Like Saleh would break it down to me privately. He's like, man, just ask me in a press conference. I'll explain it to you in a press conference. So those people really helped. And also, you know who helped? Jimmie Ward, playing really, really well the last 2 years. He really did play really well the last 2 years. And it took a little bit. Well, I think what threw me off was, like, they call him a free safety. He doesn't necessarily have a lot of production from that spot. But if you think of him as like a do-everything DB who can play man-to-man coverage like a strong safety or like a nickelback, then all of a sudden you're like, yeah, that's true. Like, how many safeties can do that?
Yeah. I remember when I had a corner, and I was a man-to-man defense that year, and I put this corner typically on the team's best receiver, and I had to fight to get this kid to go to All-State because he didn't have great stats, he didn't have a bunch of picks or number. We were like, listen, we're a man-to-man defense, and these are the stats that of the players that we put him on, and he shuts them down. It's not, you can't always look at, is this player, especially DBs,
it's true.
Are they getting picks, or it's are they doing what you asked them to do?
Yeah.
So, and Jimmie Ward, he's perfect case of that. He does what he's asked to do and does it well.
That's true, and that's why he's doing a good job now of promoting himself. He doesn't have the traditional stats, but the coverage stats, the yards against, I'm sure he does great in that metric, and he's trying to alert people to the fact that that's his jam. So I'm glad that he's putting it out there. Yeah, and I feel like when you a lot of these DBs, you kind of have to be your own promoter. Look at Richard Sherman. You got to tell people you're the greatest, like Muhammad Ali. Otherwise, people won't know it. And I think that's basically what happened with Jimmie Ward. Is he's just a normal person, and he's not a big self promoter. And a lot of people who don't know what they're talking about just got it wrong with him. So it's cool to see him kind of have a late career. I don't know what you want to call it, but he's coming to his own later than most DBs do, and he's got the appreciation that he maybe deserved all along.
And what a great platform for him to come on, right? The number one Niners platform, or number one most viewed Niners platform.
It's definitely going to be huge for me. I mean, God, my first player on this thing, but I hope that it's also good for him too, because again, only time he ever gets to talk is 5 minutes at a time when people are like, hey, so what do you think of D'Amico Ryans, or what do you think of like the upcoming opponent? Not like, who are you? You know, can we talk about what you like to do, how you grew up, what you're thinking on a field? I mean, no, I don't think he's probably ever gotten that platform. I'm trying to think of this as kind of like a Joe Rogan experience, where you just sit down and let the guy get to know a guy.
And supposedly he watches, right? Like he said he watched. You could be like, what was your favorite? What
What about that one coach in New Jersey? What do you think of him? He's pretty good with the hat and the
what do you
Anyway, I'm gonna do it live too at 2:30. So if you guys want to put in questions, the super chat questions, and ask your own for Jimmie Ward, feel free. I'll have like a little 15-minute breaks where I interrupt my line of questioning and bring in yours. I figured it'd be cool to have it interactive, and I hope not to take up too much of Jimmie Ward's time. But if he wants to give me an hour, I'm going to take it. So we'll see what.
Give him what he gives you, right?
Absolutely. Hunter says, thoughts on Dante Johnson and where can you find this McVay podcast? Look for the Flying Coach podcast. That's what it's called. And then thoughts on Dante Johnson. Him and Jimmie Ward came in the same draft. How about that? He's an interesting story too. I mean, he's not a great player, but he is a guy who has created a full NFL career. Something to be proud of. It's not like,
around for years in the league. And I mean, that's a productive career. Like, you're making money as a professional football player for years on a second, and I think he's on the third.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Like, that's a productive play. I mean, he doesn't have to, even if he's not starting, like, cheers to him. Like, that's great. Like, people don't understand, like, the backups on teams are like top athletes. Like, they're not like, they're not
scrubs.
Right.
He's only a backup in the NFL. Like, this is one of the best athletes in the country.
Yeah.
Like,
so, like, you got to give some of these guys their props. Like, just because they're a backup doesn't mean like they're like you said, a scrub. They're a premium athlete, and if they can get a second contract, like, more power to them, and that's awesome.
I mean, he's obviously not like the premium top 1.01% of athletes in the world. Otherwise, he'd be a starter, but he's in like the top 0.02. And for him to make it this far shows you how professional he is. Yeah, that's what separated him from other people who are younger than him and why he's still in the league. He's probably.
And I think, right, as professional, I think it was number one. I think he shows he's willing to play special teams, because if you're not starting, you have to contribute on special teams. So he's shown willingness to do there and to perform on a high level there. And he probably has an ability to really absorb a defense, because as a backup, a lot of times you have to play multiple roles. And you are not with one team for a long time. So you have to absorb things very quickly. So I think that's probably plays a role with him as well.
Also, if I'm not wrong, Dante Johnson went to NC State and was a safety and got drafted to play corner because he can't play safety. He can't hit hard enough. He's not a safety in the NFL. But he's 6'2", he runs a 4.4, he looks like a corner, but he's not a corner. He's a safety in college. He had the height, weight, speed to play corner. He's not a corner. And despite that, he's made a career for himself as a backup and a special teams guy. So that's commendable.
Yeah.
He's kind of a positionless player, but that's okay. Josh says, should teams help quarterbacks get endorsement deals instead of big extensions when the quarterback contract is up?
Yeah.
Ways to give the quarterback money under the table,
But I don't know. I think it's the mentality of the quarterback to want to take. They can, of course, they're all going to get endorsements. I mean, if you're at a high level, you play at a high level. I mean, look at Kaepernick. Played well the first year he started playing well. He got the Beats contract.
It's true. That is true.
They're going to get endorsements, but like, if you're getting endorsements, like, think of it. People always want more. If I'm getting endorsements, I'm going to think, oh well, I can get this Nike contract, and I could get like this $100 million contract from the Niners too, and now I'll have $150 million, rather than thinking about it like, oh well, let me do $80 million and then do $100 million from that. Like, people always want more, but he have to. Are they willing to take less to win, and maybe think that, hey, if I win, those wins can translate into more money long term, a la Tom Brady. than if I just take the money now.
Yeah. Mariah says, you will do great, Grant. Just be you. This is what you do. Nice job getting Ward. I'm just glad. I get so nervous. I get really sweaty palms. And at the end of face-to-face interviews, you usually have to shake the guy's hand. And I really dread that. Because you know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing worse than getting a real sweaty shake. You're like, oh, why don't you just leave that to yourself, buddy? Like, I wouldn't like that. So I'm like, I hope. Oh, but then it's like, no, you got to give the handshake. I feel like George Costanza. Yeah, how do you not give the handshake? He asked me, I couldn't give the handshake.
You can pound it, like COVID pound it.
Anyway, not a problem today. Thank goodness. Just get to be in the safety of my room. Anyway, that's our show for today. Yeah. I'm gonna go throw up or something. Jackhammer's going live in 5 minutes on his channel. He's gonna do some film breakdown of Trey Lance. Check that out. What were you saying though?
Are you gonna put on the suit?
Yeah, I'm gonna put on a suit. I'm gonna give the full experience for Jimmie Ward. I wouldn't want him to feel shortchanged. And this is a big moment. I want to be professional because Jimmie Ward might have something. He might give me an earful. He might be like, haha, you thought this was gonna be all sweet, huh? I know what you said. I heard what you said.
Maybe he'll bring on. Maybe it won't be him. It'll be him, Armstead, and
Armstead, Dante Pettis.
God.
The whole crew. I hope so, man. This could be an ambush. I don't know. I'm a little nervous, but I will. Whatever happens, I deserve it. So I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, you guys are there too. It'll be in 50 minutes right here on my channel. Me and Jimmie Ward. Coach, thank you for helping me warm up. I feel like I was a little nervous today and probably was just babbling, but I had a good time. I like your shirt a lot.
Oh, thank you. Feed the buddies, guys.
Yeah, that's a nice shirt.